The movie opens during the mid-Qing dynasty, which seems to be an unfortunate period for China as the Western powers have begun their invasion. We then cut to our protagonist, Yang Luqian, who is set to marry a young woman, Yu Niang, from Chen village so that he can learn Chen Kung Fu style. Later that evening, the family watches Luqian eating leaves. Yu Niang is perplexed, so her dad reveals that Luqian's abilities force him to eat a lot because his energy is drained by the power he possesses, and everyone knows that leaves are a good source of testosterone. According to the master, Luqian will become an ultimate kung fu master if he masters Chen-style kung fu, and in order to master this style, Yu Niang's feminine energy must be aligned with his masculine energy. On the other hand, Zai Yang is confused why his smart sister is married to a fool like Luqian. Moreover, he gets upset to learn his father is intending to teach Chen-style kung fu to an outsider. He doesn't understand how his father could forget the Copper Bell prophecy left by their 10th Grandmaster. Zai Yang then narrates the story from the past generation when their 9th Grandmaster, Chen Wangting, established the Chen-style Kung Fu. According to Zai Yang, it was the kind-natured 10th Grandmaster who carried this legacy forward and made it popular across the nation. This Kung Fu style made the Chen family so powerful that many aspirants wanted to master it. One day, a mad monk visited him with a large bag on his back. He pretended to be poor, so the Grandmaster cared for him with food and kindness. He allowed the monk to stay in the palace for several days, against the will of his disciples. But one day, the monk watched the disciples practicing the Chen Kung Fu style and made fun of them. Enraged, the disciples launched their attacks on him, but the latter easily defeated them, revealing his true identity as a Buddhist monk, and he made their asses one with everything. Intrigued by the deception, the Grandmaster inquired about his motives. The monk responded by pulling out a man from his large bag who turned out to be one of the Chen disciples. He revealed that he had caught the man stealing and assaulting women in a nearby village using Chen-style Kung Fu. As a result, the monk has come to punish the Grandmaster for his disciples' recklessness, but he changed his mind after witnessing his virtues of kindness and honesty. Nevertheless, he did warn against teaching this style to anyone other than the Chen family. The monk also placed a copper bell outside the Chen's temple walls, cursing that if outsiders learned their kung fu, a huge disaster would befall the entire village. So, he suggests that they eliminate him right away. The following morning, Zai Yang, Yu Zi, and some of their men confront Luqian and launch their attack on him. In an unexpected turn of events, it only awakens Luqian's hidden powers, after which he goes on a frenzy towards his assailants. Time to see what those leaves he's been eating can do. When the disciples learn of this, they try to intervene, but their strength is no match for Luqian. However, when he sees Yu Niang approaching, he suddenly comes to a halt and passes out. Later on, Zai Yang talks to his sister in an attempt to persuade her to break ties with Luqian, citing the perceived threat he poses. However, she insists on staying married to him because he had saved her life in the past. As days pass by, Luqian continues training with Yu Niang, slowly improving his Chen-style Kung Fu. The scene then cuts to Britain, where a man walks into an abandoned factory previously owned by Zai Yang, but now the factory is confiscated by Duke Fum. He owes a lot of money. Just then, a group of Duke's henchmen capture Fang, but their boss orders them to release him. Fang then expresses his wish to exact his vengeance against the Chen family, as he seems to have lost his loved one due to them. For this, he requests the Duke's help, which the latter agrees to. The next day, in the palace temple, the copper bell falls from the ceiling and starts spinning at great speed. This sets the villagers into a panic, as they believe that Luqian has brought in the copper bell spell and that the village will soon be destroyed. Meanwhile, Master Chen spots Zai Yang's wife watching all of this from the roof of the temple. When he confronts her, he learns that she is the one who tampered with the bell and made it spin. Inside the temple, Zai Yang stops the bell from spinning, calming everyone down. The villagers then demand that Luqian be expelled from here. However, Master Chen shows up and claims that it is Zai Yang's return to the village which is causing trouble. He also reveals how Zai Yang is still in contact with Fang. In order to prove this betrayal, the master sets up a fight between Zai Yang and Luqian, leading to a fierce clash. For the first few moments, both of them appear to be equally formidable, but at one point, Luqian manages to land a powerful blow on the opponent. unveils a shocking revelation. Zai Yang is wearing an exoskeleton under his dress, enabling him to fight like a pro. Now that he's caught, he finally admits that he doesn't like kung fu and instead harbors aspirations in mechanical innovation. He further claims that the kung fu techniques are not enough to stop the Western invaders. He also confesses that he teamed up with Fang because the latter promised to settle his debt, but he's clearly unaware of Fang's sinister motive. In the next scene, Zai Yang and his wife prepare to depart the village when they're stopped by Yu Niang. She hands him their family heirloom and tells him to sell it to clear all of his debts. Elsewhere, Fang, under the order of the Zhili General Governor, takes over the position of Deputy Governor. A few days later, Zai Yang and his wife arrive at his abandoned factory in Britain and find it sealed. Disregarding his wife's advice, he breaks into the factory, only to be apprehended by some thugs. Following this, the couple is brought in front of Fang, who orders his men to torture them for failing on their mission. Zai Yang pleads that he tried his best, but his father thwarted his entire plan. He also reveals about Lu Chan, a former member of the Divine Truth cult. This revelation strikes Fang with a new master plan to bring down the Chen village. He'll charge the village with harboring a criminal since the Divine Truth cult was once a rebel group. Hearing this, Zai Yang is worried for his hometown and begs Fang not to harm the innocent villager. At night, Zai Yang experiences a nightmare that something worse will befall his village. As a result, he decides to build an armed glider called Power Wings so that he can use it to defend the village. Unfortunately for him, those wings won't do shit against a cannon. On the other hand, Lu Chan and Yu Niang spend most of their time together in training. As the days pass, she begins to fall in love with his gentle and innocent attitude. At one point in time, she breaks her own rules by allowing him to sleep with her in bed and asks him to address her as wife rather than master. One fateful day, Fang and his army arrive at the Chen village and launch their new cannons towards it. This prompts the villagers to run for their lives. Master Chen then summons Lu Chan on the top of a roof and inquires about how they should handle the conflict. Surprisingly, our hero suggests that they have a good breakfast and then surrender themselves. The master doesn't object and instructs Yu Niang to prepare breakfast. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them. Fang and his troops continue to bombard the village, while Master Chen, Lu Chan, and Yu Niang have their breakfast. Amidst this, the master instructs the two of them to find another master, Li Qiankun, whom he believes can turn the tables around. Following this, the trio sets out, pretending to surrender themselves. But all of a sudden, they start fighting the enemies. Despite being only 3 in number, they are able to take down hundreds of enemies. At one critical point, Fang grabs a gun and aims towards Lu Chan, but just before he can shoot, Zai Yang shows up on his new glider and unleashes a barrage of bombs upon the enemies. Master Chen then instructs the couple to escape with Zai Yang, while he intends to surrender. Heeding to his instruction, the two hang on the glider and fly away, but soon after, the glider runs out of fuel. In a quick move, Zai Yang jumps off it to reduce the weight, allowing the two to flee the scene. In the next scene, we learn that Master Chen and Zai Yang are imprisoned in the same cell. During their confinement, Master Chen apologizes to his son, expressing remorse for imposing undue pressure on him to uphold the family's martial legacy. While the couple arrives at Master Qiankun's palace, but they must fight several members of the clan before reaching him. Lu Chan accepts the challenge and starts fighting, effortlessly defeating all of the clan members with his masterful Chen-style kung fu prowess. Having surmounted these obstacles, the duo are finally allowed to see Master Qiankun. An all-inclusive trip to Qiankun. They confide the ongoing predicament of their village in the master, who then relays this issue to Prince Dun. The prince agrees to help them, but they must prove themselves to be the real Chen kung fu fighters first. For this, he sets up a duel between Lu Chen and Master Qiankun. Clearly, a tough match. Determined to save his master and his village, Lu Chen agrees to the battle. A fierce duel ensues between the two, and they appear equally strong. But after a while of tough struggle, Lu Chan's strength gains the upper hand, and he is able to defeat Master Qiankun. I think he may have just farted at some point, and all the leaves and dirt he's been eating really threw the guy off. With his victory, Prince Dun orders a thorough investigation of Chen village. He then frees Master Chen and Zai Yang after taking down Fang as well as his men. In the final scene, Lu Chen and Yu Niang return to their village, where they reunite with their family members. Lu Chen is welcomed by all the villagers, who now regard him as a new Chen-style kung fu master. On the other hand, Duke is fired from the East India Company after being involved with Fang. However, he doesn't return to Britain. He instead captures Fang and takes him to his mysterious institution in order to carry out the research on human extremes.